What's up, everybody? I'm back with another reaction video. This one is a new one. This one I came across Taylor the Fiend, not to be confused with Taylor Swift. This video is titled "New Study Proves That Men Were Right All Along." So, see what this is about. But before I continue, please definitely follow Taylor the Fiend. Kind of new to his video content, so I like to at least make sure I give credit where credit's due for any reaction videos that I do. Also follow me on my videos, Talkative Carl on YouTube and Twitch, where I stream games, react to videos, and review content. So, without further ado, let's check out what he has to say.
You have done something I don't like.
Uh-oh.
I am mad at you.
Dang.
Now you have done something I don't like. I don't like that you told me that.
Uh-oh.
Now I am mad at you.
Dang.
Yo, what is going on, guys? It is Taylor the Fiend back again, and today we are taking a look at science, proving that men were right the whole damn time. I mean, who would have thought? Let's jump into it.
Well, we know that no one hates women more than other women, and in a recent study that will be shocking to absolutely no one, the results showed that male students show more tolerance for their political enemies than females show for their own allies. That's right. In other words, women are meaner to people on their own side than men are to people who sit on the opposite side of an issue. Look at this chart. What do you notice? Well, there is no overlap between
It's funny. It's been circulating around. The first time I seen the chart was in my reaction video to Jake Monroe. You can check out my reaction video of his, or just check out the original video of his. But my video has the particular title, so you know which one to go to. But yeah. So in case you curious about the source material and like where you getting all this stuff from, here it is. So here it is. Sorry, just had like some trail mix, so it's a little but anyway, yeah. So pause it, freeze frame, look at it, give it a good look. It's not something people are pulling out of their ass. This is like clear studies up to like to the year 2025, so very current.
the genders. Being a man is what makes you more tolerant. That's literally it.
That's because a lot of modern women want to be right more than they want to actually understand.
So that's probably why when we get home and complain about that bitch Becky at work and the men in our lives don't seem to care.
Yeah, and that's what gets me to get under my skin when guys argue the point, because there is a right and a wrong answer. But I hate it when people's like, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? Like, no. You can't just default to that. Okay? If somebody's wrong, they're wrong. And I remember the Bill Burr comedy where he points out that if you're in an argument with a woman, if she is absolutely right, they tend to stay on point until you come to the conclusion that, yeah, she was right. And she'll have the evidence, or she points it out to you that confirms it. Hey, totally respect it. Yeah, they always maintain point when they know fully they're right. But if a man is right, they tend to go rogue, and almost always they try to derail the conversation with something else. It's just like rarely you get a woman to admit anything, be held accountable for anything, because they do not like the idea of holding an L.
It's not that they don't care about us, they're just unbothered in their lane, moisturized, thriving. And in this specific study, men were 3.5 times more likely than women to be tolerant of someone they disagreed with. So basically, none of this is surprising.
We're able to function without endless drama, and modern women see that as a complete defect, I think.
I kind of feel like when you look at a man, you can.
Because most women thrive off of drama. even the most well-mannered, well-meaning lady likes drama. But the wiser women understand where to get that from, and how to keep it out of her relationship with her significant other. You know, there's a time and place for everything. You do not invite unnecessary drama into the relationship, because guys bring stability. Stability is opposing to drama.
Already tell that they come from a mutated chromosome.
Should I say it?
The way that they physically look, you can already tell that they were a failed experiment at becoming a woman, and so they had no choice to become a man.
Okay, why not? You know, there are some individuals out there that really should not be criticizing what others look like.
It takes a lot of emotional damage to be convinced that men are nothing but genetic failures.
I quit asking girls their body count a very long time ago because if the answer's higher than 2 and you don't regret both dearly, I have no choice but to projectile vomit.
I quit
I mean, he stated his preference, and in exchange he got ridiculed. No wonder why men are walking away.
Yeah, and you know, even if you do ask a girl what's her body count, she's gonna lie, cause it's innate for ladies to feel some semblance of shame, because they know their let's say like appealing visage is, you know, tied to her sexual market value, because most, if not all, women all are vying for the creme de la creme of guys, and they know that those type of guys, they don't care, like it's all darn near all guys, but they don't care about all guys. They only care about like the top 20% of those guys, and those top 20%, they know that if those 20 know what her body count is, that will count her out for a potential relationship, a long-lasting one, and she won't get the benefits of said long-term wife from those guys who built themselves up to get to that point. So, you know, hiding it is paramount, or, you know, massaging the truth a little bit in terms of account. That's why, that's that line from Ryan Reynolds from, I'm pretty sure it was like, what was it? Van Wilder. I'm pretty sure it was from Van Wilder. Multiply by 3 and that's the real number. Because there are times when girls don't want to count certain things. Oh, I was on my period, that doesn't count, kind of thing. Or some nonsensical, delusional thing that they'll try as hard as they can to believe in it so. But I'm not sure where I got this from, but I think it's the best way for guys to find at least closely what a girl's body count is. When you're on like maybe not on the first date, but maybe like second or third date, you ask a girl what's her body count, or you want to know her body count. What you need to ask her is, I don't even know how you even should say it, because you know, if any women out there watching this, they'll just try to I don't know, they'll try to mess it one way or another. It's like, you know, taking a good thing and then somehow it gets corrupted. You know, so I'll just keep that to myself, or at least tell closer friends of mine, so you know the likelihood of it getting out is just like you know, it's probably more safer, because I don't want that getting corrupted, so you know they can try to, you know, find like a loophole or something. But trust and believe, I figure out a way to ask it to get as close to the answer as possible so I can make a determination on, if I need to worry about this particular girl, because guys worry about a girl's past. Girls have to worry about the guy's future. That's why they don't normally care about, they can say they care about like a guy's body count, and they perfectly are well within their right. But look at how many times like guys like Nick Cannon have so many baby moms. You think after a girl finds out he has a third one, she will back the hell off because like, I'm not trying to be fourth or fifth. They don't care. They truly don't. Even if somebody's not as rich as Nick Cannon, you know full well that there's, regular guys or even worse, bummy guys who has like 5 baby mamas. They don't care. Most of them don't care. It's all what the guy can still do for her or what she can get out of that guy, irregardless of what kind of woman he dealt with. But that definitely matters to a guy, because if a girl is like a floozy, that can damage the guy's reputation.
What if he just leaves it? What if he doesn't care? What if he just leaves it like that? Now you have an ugly wall with a bunch of holes in it.
What kind of a message is that giving to her child? That kind of behavior makes a lasting impact.
Calling you to say. Talking about delusional. That's because they get baptized. Oh, I'm born again. They try to count it like, oh, is this like a Harry Potter magic wand? It's like, oh, it's like it never happened. Erase. It's like, no, this is on a spiritual basis, not a biological one. But they want to. So many women blending the two, like it's a magic wand. It's like, no, lady. Don't pull that crap. And it's usually the floozies of the world that try to, once they, get past that sexual prime, after they've been throwing it out there, to every Tom, Dick, Harry, and Marvin, they use religion as like a scapegoat in order to get out, escape bad, any negative feedback or any try to rework her reputation somehow. And religion is almost always the go-to in terms of trying to fix her or salvage her reputation. And guys not buying it anymore. Now it's like, if you hear a girl saying she's like a born-again virgin or born-again Christian, now that is a red flag, because it doesn't mean anything anymore like it used to, because they infiltrated religion, and now it's like decent guys gotta look twice at girls like this. Like, if you become born again, what does that mean? Like, did you have like a past? How severe was the past? But girls will like to label guy problematic because he dare asking that. It's kind of like getting mad at a guy after a girl gets hurt or something. He asks like, "What are you wearing?" Or what time of day or time of night that you was walking around, or asking questions like, "Are you victim blaming?" Is that attitude where you gotta ask these type of questions. They don't like you asking those type of questions because it makes them feel bad, because they don't want to be held accountable for their part of the equation. They want to remain as innocent as possible because their image is paramount. They want to be like puff this angelic creature at all times that makes no mistakes, that they don't have to own up to.
White for purity. Oh my god! I'm red for your hymen think that they can wipe away their bad decisions. That body count's there for life. Unlucky on her next fella thinking that she's a virgin. And I'll stay woke in these streets.
You can't just magically decide to reset your body count. It doesn't actually work that way. And again, this is what many of these women do, guys, is they rack up a huge body count, for lack of a better word. Then they go out there when they're like 35 and they try and trick a man into taking her seriously after she's had all of her fun. It's a complete scam for men.
Every guy should start in jail and have to work his way out.
Absolutely.
I think
love
that's
that idea.
because it's like you need to earn your place out here.
You do.
Well, imagine you and your boys randomly load into a prison and your only objective is to make it out first. That sounds like the best competition ever.
And who exactly will be locking these men up in the prison and keeping them there? Because it sure as hell isn't going to be women, let's be honest.
Somebody gonna match my freak. Somebody gonna match my freak. It won't matter.
Security reasons, baggage left unattended will be removed and destroyed.
He looks like Seal.
Airports are enough of a pain without influencers making things even more annoying.
What is 34 plus 66?
34 plus 66? 99. 98.
What year was the U.S. founded?
I know the answer to that.
Okay.
1982.
The United States was founded in 1982.
Sammy.
Who did the U.S. gain its independence from?
France?
We brought this up earlier, like
France?
really earlier.
France, Europe? France, I think.
How many letters in the alphabet?
24.
What language do people in Idaho speak?
French.
These are the same kinds of women, by the way, who will say that men are stupid. I mean, let that sink in for a second.
You don't get to play the victim. You got on here and made a video and said that most men are ugly. And now that people are attacking your looks, you want to play the victim.
And I thank God I am mentally, emotionally, spiritually strong enough to not be influenced to do something like that by someone like you. But if I was, I'd put your name in the letter so that you would get a visit from the police after I was gone.
If you go on the internet and you say that most men are ugly, then I think it's fairly obvious that you are going to get pushback. I mean, that is literally how the internet works.
Did the thought not cross your mind that prior to making that video of saying most men are ugly, that people would come after your looks? So you would therefore be prepared to be attacked in your comment section and have videos made about you.
Most men are deeply unattractive because of Mother Nature and something called the Great Scam. The Great Scam was the day that the male of the species convinced the female of the species that it no longer needed to prove itself worthy in order to reproduce and have babies, but the fact that the men are ugly says otherwise.
There are some messages, regardless of whether it's right or wrong, that some people should not be the messenger for. And I think you should have sat this one out.
She expected a pass to insult men without getting insulted in return. That's never been a thing at all, especially on the internet.
Invisible costs that women pay to exist that men don't even think about. All right, well, let's take a look. Beauty expectations, waxing, brows, hair, laser. Yeah, you don't need this to exist, actually. You could just look natural. The pink tax, same product, same ingredients, higher price. Well, then just buy the male product if you've recognized this. At this point, if you still buy female products, that's a skill issue. The price of periods, pads, tampons, painkillers. Yeah, these require raw materials. So here are all the raw materials and tampons alone. If you can manage to start a company, source the raw materials, package the products, and give it to women for free, be our guest. Workplace bias, dress professionally. Yeah, men have to dress professionally too, sweetheart.
Men have their own costs as well. We just don't feel the need to complain about it like these people do.
You wanted equal treatment, you get equal treatment, and then you cry discrimination. The cost of safety, taxis instead of walking. Oh yeah, no, because men don't pay for safety. It's not like men are experiencing assault and violence at a higher rate than women.
And they like to make it seem like, yeah, well, they're protecting us from other men. Yeah, because there's always going to be dangerous people in general. But you still require the good men, which is way more than the bad men in the world, to come to rescue both men and women. But it's only the some, not all, only some women out there who think like, they paint this picture like men are just like either incompetent or just terrible outright. But when the chips are down, your knee-jerk reaction is to find a guy to help you or call fire department or the police, which more often than not is going to be a man, and more often than not is going to be a very large man who will take down that bad guy who is more than likely physically inferior by comparison to the officer. You don't look to the female officer to come rescue the day. Because more often than not, she's not going to be the one to contend with this guy who will more than likely be twice her size. Guys, overall, in general, are often the ones who will try to help out the weaker vessel, which tend to be the ladies and children. So it's just the lack of respect. It's like this weird picture to paint that, you know, guys are just inherently evil. Yes, we all tend to be aggressive at times, but the wiser and the more benevolent ones know where to put that aggression in the more respectable ways. And those who don't will get punished immediately, violently if need be. Because it's the same aggression that you worry about that might be like hitting on you is the same kind of aggression guys can use to run into the burning building to rescue you. It just all depends on the guy in question. And there's far more good guys out there than bad guys. So you really don't have to often worry about guys doing very nefarious things with you, because there will always be a good guy to come save you.
Oh, wait, yeah, they are. The motherhood penalty, career pauses, slower growth, smaller pensions. Well, you all did this to yourselves. Women were happier under the patriarchy, statistically, and then feminists had
the paradox of declining female happiness. Yale Law School. Yeah. This is the thing. It's like, women just, some women just seems like they just want certain benefits, certain license to do this, that, and the third, and they just want the immediate gratification without thinking about the long-term ramifications. Rarely you get women like that, where it's like, okay, I want to own my own, be able to get my own credit card. Okay, that seems kind of hunky-dory at first on the surface level, but then look at the state of like the female debt issue, because they're the primary consumer for a lot of products. So stands to reason they are the main ones, at least in America, holding a lot of the debt.
right idea to fight for.
I mean, like, probably them owning credit cards, sad to say, it's just like they didn't have to worry about things like debt. But there's a trade-off. That means you don't get a credit card. But if you get a credit card, the trade-off is you have to worry about potential debt.
The right to work alongside men in the workforce. The price of aging. Oh, yeah, because men don't age. Just women out here aging. Anti-aging marketed to us before we even... Same thing to men. It's the same stuff. It's just that we're smart enough to not believe that some cream is going to stop us from aging. That is just so tough.
Ignorance, I don't think, is an argument, but women like this will always insist that their feelings count as facts, no matter what the situation is.
What can I do to help? Is there a GoFundMe? The number one cause of death in men under the age of 50 is by deciding to take their own life. That's not cancer.
If y'all can see, I want y'all to look at the bottom comment. It says, yes, male loneliness is a real problem, but why is it only brought up when talking about women? Excuse me?
It's crazy how even when it's a problem to do with men's mental health, you have these modern women who just need to make it about them. Anything that isn't being talked about, that isn't, to do with them or victimizing them in any way, it always has to be kind of, directed back to making them.
Yeah, that is annoying. This is like, I watch a lot of these podcasts where they invite females on to talk about these things, and whenever we need to just spend at least 5 minutes focusing on men's mental health, men's issues, there's gonna be some lady on the panel that will just, I don't know if it's a knee-jerk reaction, but it's like, what about women? Or it's always like, what about women? Like, but women too. It's like, can we not just try to worm your way back to, what about women? It's like, look, we spend like decades with different types of platforms listening to women's issues. Some legit, some not. But we have been inundated with a lot of that stuff. But in recent years, men are feeling a little bit more comfortable speaking about their issues now, but is either deemed problematic Or there's going to be some ladies I'm like, well, women too. What about women? And you cannot just take their own ego out of it and just acknowledge for 5 minutes that guys have their own issues that needs to be addressed, once that we want to talk about, without having to make it about girls for at least a little while, and to sit in it for a while, because you might end up learning something, do some self-evaluation. It's like, oh wow, I guess women aren't always peaches and cream. We do some foul stuff to the men, and it might affect their mental health in some shape or form. Gee, maybe I could probably apologize to certain men that I probably wronged in the past. Maybe I should curve certain behaviors so future men don't have to deal with my attitude, possibly. But you only learn that from if you actually listen to guys, let them get their stuff off, and be quiet for a minute and let men speak. Because it's like we only just now, I wouldn't say just now, but relatively recently, we actually have platforms to actually voice our concerns. Because men live on this planet too. It's not just the women. Men have their crosses to bear too. It's just we, by and large, are comfortable with, suffering in silence by comparison to the ladies who got to make everything a problem. I stubbed my toe. Let's have this full-blown podcast and how that bothered me, and like I was just feeling some type of way. It's all about feelings. And guys, it's like, look, we can accidentally chop our finger off, but we push through, and probably like get back to work, the next day, because the world's not going to care all that much. We have to still keep trucking along.
I'm a victim.
This video was a man stitching a video of a woman talking about the male loneliness epidemic. For a long time, people said the male loneliness epidemic is only brought up when countering a woman's point. I want one of you people to show me an example of that. Because if I look up male loneliness epidemic right now, do you know what I'm going to see? A bunch of women talking about the male loneliness epidemic, or men pandering, or men being like, what even is that? Like, genuinely, in the search bar, look up male loneliness epidemic. I want you to tell me how long it takes you to scroll until you find a man complaining about it. There are women who get on here, some not all, who use it as a point just to dunk on men for anything.
Some women will even use this epidemic, quote unquote, to even celebrate men's pain. It's messed up.
Oh, a man doesn't want to open the car door. Oh, now they wonder why there's a male loneliness epidemic. A man makes a mean comment. Oh, and you wonder why there's a male loneliness epidemic. It's literally them bringing it up as if it was being brought up in the first place. This is the craziest gaslight job that I've ever seen. Every video I've seen of a woman talking about the male loneliness epidemic was unprovoked. I've never seen this scenario that people keep making up where it's a woman complaining about something and then men are in the comments being like, oh, well, what about the male loneliness epidemic? Or a man stitches it, oh, what about the male loneliness epidemic? I've never seen that. Please.
You never see it because it doesn't really exist except in the minds of modern women. That's why.
Please show me proof. And when I tell you, every time this topic comes up, I tell you guys, hey, tag me in something. Hey, show me. Just show me. And you never can, ever. But we keep going with this false narrative. The craziest part about that to me is that you can't even cherry pick anything. Because I'm sure every type of interaction has happened on the internet at least once. But the fact that it's so hard for people to find a man complaining about the male loneliness epidemic in response to a woman complaining about a woman's issue, it's so hard to the point that when I have made multiple videos asking for people to tag me, asking for people to show screenshots, and they can't even do it once, not one person who watches this video, and then people will be like, oh, but like, different algorithms. Then if it's in your algorithm, show me. I've had thousands of people see my video. There's no way we're all on just the same algorithm. We're just nobody's saying that, but it's somehow a prevalent issue. Like, show me.
You can't find proof because it's just another slogan used by modern women, nothing more.
You don't need to look at this yet until you look at the gift first. You look at the gift first.
I thought it was a car,
Yeah, look at the gift first and then this makes sense. Oh, okay. This makes sense after you look at the gift.
Nice outfit. Yeah, take a moment, like, he's dressing pretty sharp, man. I kind of want this kind of outfit. It's like Christian Clean with a white jacket.
Please handle with care. It's a delicate item.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I see.
You put the gift on the table. That's the gift.
What is it?
It's a leaf. It's a golden leaf. It represents value and worth, wisdom and enlightenment, prosperity, and abundance.
I think we covered this clip earlier. I mean, she bought him a leaf for his birthday, but imagine if he did the same thing for her. Honestly, he would probably be shamed for it.
Because I'm looking at that like, is that made out of solid gold or a leaf? This is why most, not all, but most ladies are terrible at gift giving to men. Guys have to go out, put some thought into gifts for the ladies. Like, you know, when it's a girl's birthday, it has to be this glorious event, like going to the ball in the Cinderella story. It has to be almost epic. The gifts have to be, so thought out and so creative and often expensive. But most times when it's the girl have to show out for the guy, it seems so, I want to say half-assed, but the energy is not nearly put in like that, unless y'all probably had like a 20-year-long marriage or something, and is a woman for a certain generation that knows how to show out for her guy. But and it's usually the boomer generation. But like, a leaf, really? A leaf? You don't love that man. You do not love that man. You should have been with this dude long enough to know what this guy wants. What will make him truly smile. And don't say sex. That is, he gets that on a given from you. It's like, ladies like to use sex for like an apology or a gift and thinking that's going to be enough to shut them up. Like, no. Guys want thoughtful gifts too. Only difference between us and ladies is the fact that we don't often care about the expense. We don't. It's great that you actually, you're like, oh, I want to buy him this nice chain necklace thing, and I had to shell out my own dollars to buy that for him, or something akin to that. Or, spend your own money to pay for a cool trip out of the country or something. But depending on what kind of guy you are, what kind of guy that you're with, you should know what excites him. It's like, if he likes cars, and you can buy him a ticket to Formula One that's in the current state at the time, or NASCAR that's happening around the time for his birthday. That would be a nice gift because your guy is into cars, so that'll be something he will have a kick out of. Like, just using an example. It all depends on, do you know your guy? Does this guy look like the kind of guy who's into like leaves? It's giving lazy, and you don't care.
In this new year for us, we want all those things. So I bought you a Gucci golden leaf.
This poor man has to probably pretend to like it. He has to put on this facade, and deep in his mind, he's like, what the fuck? Because, a guy will look poorly if he, acted his true feelings and say, what is this? Like, because he doesn't want to make a scene and all this other stuff, so he has to take it. Because this is why guys, like, half the time we don't expect much from ladies. That's why we don't care about what you do for a living. We don't care about your master's degrees or how many languages you speak, because it does not benefit us, because we pretty much be the primary ones showing out with like the money towards us to you. You don't sometimes y'all don't really put all that little resources that you accumulated from you to us. We don't expect that because y'all generally don't do it. So that's why we kind of have this blasé attitude. Yeah, to be expected. Now you can say like, oh well, you haven't found the right woman. It's darn near all women, darn near. But all women can do it. You just don't want to. It's all about the want part. You're supposed to love your guy. You should be able to put in the effort to know your guy. You've been with him for more than a year. You should be well enough to. You should be having more than enough time to know all his interests and hobbies, things that make him smile, things he enjoy, and do some freaking detective work, because you girls are very good detectives. When you want to find out if the guy's cheating on you, you can use that same energy and apply it to figure out what this kind of guy that I'm with likes, and how can I utilize that to find the ideal birthday gift for my man, because I love him, because he does so much for me almost on the most of the year, let alone just holidays and my birthday. How can I show out for him, for his day? It's giving lazy. I'm sorry, it is. And it's very rare that we get women who understand this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
You don't seem too excited about it.
It's not that big.
When you look at that receipt and see how much I'm gonna spend for that, you can appreciate that Gucci golden leaf. You have to put it back in because it's hard, like, for it not to get, like, it's definitely delicate.
Okay.
So now you can open it so you can appreciate your golden leaf a little more.
I don't know what this woman was expecting, for him to cry and thank her for the present of a gold leaf. I'm not really sure I understand here.
Okay.
Not that one. You do the next one. That's another one in there. You can look at this one next. That's why the car didn't have the money in it, because I spent $2,000 on this golden leaf right here. The frame didn't come in yet.
Okay.
There are so many more.
$2,000 for a golden leaf? Is it actually made out of solid gold? Can we actually sell it? I know there are legit good women out there in the world. I know there are. But when you see something like this, doesn't it insult you as a fellow female that you see other ladies behaving in this manner, that in turn make you look bad by, by proxy? I don't care if you don't know this woman like that or it's not your problem, but it's the perception, okay? Us guys don't celebrate dudes who assault women. We publicly shame them and violently beat them for pulling stunts like that. We don't glorify that whatsoever. If guys do generally bad things, we do everything in our power to make sure those guys are shamed out the yin yang. So by the same boats, like or on the same scale, you ladies should look at something like that. It's like, girl, you're effing up. Why would you buy your guy $2,000, which, let's be real, it's probably his own money that they share, but it's really his money, to pay for a golden leaf, and then got the nerve to get all like an attitude because he's not pouring his heart out and crying over the table for this golden leaf like it's supposed to be symbolic or something. Now, speaking of symbolism, maybe if that leaf's supposed to be some kind of representation of like the leaf they picked off of a tree on their first trip to Scotland or something like that, and she had it painted gold or something like that to maintain it for like the symbol of their first time, he proposed to me. This leaf is the one of the leaves taken from the tree that you proposed to me under while we took a trip to Scotland or something like that. Then maybe if you have put it in that fashion, maybe you have something. But clearly that wasn't, because you would have said it. I don't know what kind of friends this girl has, but they're hearing from her what she gotten her man for his birthday, they should clown him. Sorry, they should clown her to the ends of the earth. Because if a guy pulls that same stunt and told his buddies what he did for his girl's birthday, they will, they will call him all kinds of stupid. Like, bro, why would you do something like that? You bought your girl a leaf for her birthday, and you spent $2,000 to do it. Well, you must be stupid. So if it would be stupid for a guy to pull a stunt like that, why is it not as equally as stupid for this girl to do that to her boyfriend who she supposedly loved? That is insulting. Not only just to the significant other, but to all girls who like actually care for their man, and seeing something like that makes them by proxy look bad.
Meaningful presents that she could have got him that would have costed a fraction of the price. A lot of these women think that price is everything and that's what makes a good gift, but it couldn't be further from the truth.
Thank you.
Like, if you guys into video games, you could have just at least bought him a brand new console. Or, because, matter of fact, God, it's been a long time, but I've seen this on Instagram a long time ago, where a guy, for his birthday, his wife, refurbished, or I don't know if it was refurbished or just, it had to be refurbished because it can't just be fixed up just off rip. She had a game room or a man cave fixed up for his birthday. It was like a complete surprise, and he was like bawling. I can't remember, like, it was on Instagram, I know that, but it's been a long time. I don't think I ever saved it. But he hugged her and was tearing up. It was like a very emotional thing. She knew her man. She knew like what kind of man she had, what interests and hobbies he had. She fixed up an entire game room, or like a man cave. I'm pretty sure it was more so a game room. She fixed up an entire game room. Like, I'm pretty sure he had it, but it was kind of refurbished. It was very stylized, very like, I won't say high tech, but clearly was like really fixed up. She did something like that for his birthday, and it was an emotional moment for him because she went all out for him. I'm pretty sure it wasn't cheap, but it wasn't like costly. But she put it out on her own dime. Even if they had like a shared account, she put it on her own dime so he wouldn't know. It was a complete surprise. But of course, this woman right here wouldn't know anything about that because she's lazy and selfish.
You don't care?
I'm with you, Ray.
I thought you was gonna like say something about me spending that much money on a golden leaf.
You might want to stop recording so she can put that in the middle.
I would. Thank you. You want it in the middle? No, you're fine. Okay. I was gonna say I'm trying to keep on. I just want your reaction. I'm not getting it. You don't care?
Ray, can you put the phone down?
Mediocre at absolutely everything, but at least I have the self-awareness to not enter myself into a competition that I am ill-equipped for and am going to end up being 14th. Am I off?
Yeah, you're off. You're big time off. She says in her video that she's dating a guy, talking to a guy, whatever, and he bragged, kind of was telling her about himself and said that he went to the Olympic trials. She asked what place he got. He said 14th at the Olympic trials. And she's like, oh my God, that's so embarrassing. Why would you tell people that?
It is insane how she fancies herself an expert when she just said she's extremely mediocre. Again, with the cognitive dissonance, saying things that just make no sense and contradict each other within the same, 10 seconds.
And she says it gave her like the biggest ick. That's embarrassing for you. It would take forever for me to like make a spreadsheet based on every event at every Olympic trial event. But I just did some quick search. This is the men's 100 meters. First place finisher, 9.92. 14th place finisher, 10.15. That's nothing. It's not even a quarter of a second. Let's look at another one. This is the men's 400 meters. First place, 44.42. 14th place, 45.36. Less than 1 second. This is the perfect example of, first of all, do a little research. Second of all, how out of touch and ignorant some people are.
She is completely clueless. Getting into the Olympic trials themselves is quite an accomplishment.
2025. Why can't my car touch something? Why is it so bad that when my car taps something, the side caves in? What are we doing? What are we doing? Why aren't our best and brightest brains being put toward fixing that issue? You're telling me every time I tap another car in front of me, every time I back up into a wall or a pole or something of that nature, my entire car caves in and breaks.
They are designed that way for a reason, but doing basic research is not her strong suit, it seems.
Why aren't they stronger? Why aren't they stronger?
Because she acting on emotion. Is the knee-jerk reaction. I mean, sure, she has every right to feel some type of way of, like, something dings her car or something, something bangs up her car or something like that. Sure, she has every right to feel some type of way about that. But then making a whole, she finds it easier to make a whole TikTok video or whatever. Do this massive complaint because she thinks treat social media like her own personal diary. So she can have some kind of validation from strangers, mostly other women. It's like, oh yeah, you girl, clock it, all this other crap. Just to get some kind of validation so she can have some moral support or whatever. Instead of just taking that same energy, look into it, about this particular issue so she can have a better understanding. But that gears towards more of like a logic-based knee-jerk reaction rather than an emotional one. So she's in the emotion, and this particular emotion, and running with it. She can feel it, but the last thing you want to do is just go run with it.
Why can't they touch things? Is this a stupid question? Like, so many things are...
I bet she just take 5 minutes to cool her heels. She'll realize, at the grand scheme of things, this is not going to be the end of the world, but she's, freaking out like it is. Like somebody just robbed her house and took like the Grinch and took everything, including the sink.
So durable. Why can't cars be durable? Yes, it's time to be durable. Put thousands of dollars into repairing your car after hitting things. Why don't they make cars out of the same stuff they make like planes out of? I don't know what planes are made out of, but I'm sure they're strong. I'm sure rocks in the sky are like they're not rocks in the sky.
Because planes are in the air and there's a bunch of people traveling and trying to make it as durable as possible so it doesn't cause as much catastrophic situations compared to cars is on the ground. There's a lot more cars on the ground than are planes in the air, so it's kind of there is like a reason why certain materials are better than the other. It's the same thing like why the materials made out of warships are probably a lot better than something like a cruise liner because they serve different purposes. It's like someone's like, why can't our yacht be the same as like our U.S. Navy vessel? Because they serve two different purposes, so they need two different materials.
Sure things. Hit the planes. No, I'm sounding really stupid. I'm really smart, I swear.
It's the definition of not taking accountability. I'll tell you what, Gail. Why don't you just get better at driving? Then you wouldn't have all them problems, would you? Women shouldn't drive anyway. Stay woke in these streets, leh.
If she was a better driver, this problem that she's complaining about wouldn't actually be an issue here.
Why isn't paternity fraud illegal? It's estimated 6% of men are fathering children that are not theirs.
There should be consequences for that.
But there aren't.
Okay.
And that's my point, is you guys don't care about equality. You want freedom at the expense of men.
Okay, sure. Next.
Do you think that men should have the right to opt out of fatherhood, since women have the right to opt out of motherhood?
No.
The only rules women like this will follow are rules for thee but not for me. That's pretty much about it.
What's your plan when men stop doing the dirty and dangerous jobs that keep society running?
Can you give me an example of which jobs you're referring to?
Logging, plumbing, crab fishing, oil rig.
What is your plan for when the 80% of women who work in the healthcare industry no longer want to do it? What's your plan?
I have a plan.
Yeah, what's your plan?
Let's give the jobs to the men. They'll do it better.
It's interesting how she used emotional garbage to get out of answering a valid question. This is usually the case, right? This is the default strategy that these women employ. If they can't answer the question, or if answering the question will make them look bad, they just, list off some emotional garbage to try and change the foundation of what's being discussed.
Idea that the woman should take 100% of the costs on herself without any help from her husband or ex-husband is ridiculous. How is that fair?
Well, how is it fair that he doesn't get 50-50 custody? Are you guys equal or not?
Yes, equality means that you're both responsible for raising the children, and that includes the
so
costs
you should have
of raising
equality,
the children.
but not at the expense of men. 50-50 custody, no child support, no alimony. That's equality. You don't.
Alimony makes sense if the woman was a stay-at-home mother and doesn't have a source of income. How else would she take care of the kids following a divorce?
By getting a job just like the men.
Getting a job is the most simple solution to the problem, but it's also the most offensive, hilariously enough.
My heart is absolutely breaking for these new parents, and
yeah, it's like you want to live like a cozy lifestyle. I think Home Math, or Psychomath, explained it in one of his illustrations that, women wanted to get off the boot of the husband or father, but in turn, they were, they went to the quote unquote patriarchy or the government, which is primarily, mostly men, to come, pretty much suck at the teat of that, so they can, live comfortably or get certain benefits without the effort required to get it. That effort is then geared towards the other man or average man, so that way it can kind of funnel in. It's just kind of, you can check out Home Math or Psychomath. He has illustrations showcasing all that stuff, so you can get like a clarity on that stuff. But basically, women want certain benefits without the effort put into it. That effort is just poured into the guys that we get lesser benefits from our tons of effort. It's just it's like the lack of respect and acknowledgement that men put in so much of the work just for the infrastructure alone, and we get so little respect as a whole. It's like oil rig, plumbing, working on the power lines. It's just like, and then the same guy who works in these kind of fields, even if he works at an office job and he busts his butt day in, day out, but then he is with a girl, has a child, but then she just on a whim decides to divorce instead of just go straight up 50-50 custody. She thinks oh, let me, she doesn't take into consideration of getting a job so she can, take care, her end of things, make sure that, she lives comfortably, and by extension the child. She wants to just get so much of the money from her ex that just by off rip, because I spent all these years raising your child, birthing him and all this stuff. I still deserve to live, as comfortably as I used to when we were together. It's like it's a warped way of thinking. It's like you can live just as comfortably by working a job. There's nothing barring you from getting a job, but you just want to get the benefits from the guy that's not your guy anymore, and on top of that, making the government either making them shell out all that money or getting some extra flow of cash from said government, so you can possibly work less or just doing whatever it is you want to do. But it's, I mean, Pearl said it best. I mean, I'm just piggybacking off of it.
I need to talk about it. 50 years ago, every parent was so worried about their daughters finding good men to marry. And now it's 2026, and our daughters are the evil ones. I have no kids, and I'm not even anywhere close to that, but I already am so anxious about what dating life is going to look like for my future son. These women out here are atrocious. In my personal opinion, I know know women that aren't lying to men or saying awful things about men or just like honestly out here not being respectful to their future husbands. I don't go to bars, I don't go to clubs because I feel like that's not my thing. But it's every single woman I talk to is like, every Friday night I go out, every Saturday night I go out. That's where I need to be, is in the club. And it's like we're losing the plot. Like, what are you gonna do when it's time to settle down and find a husband? They're not gonna want you.
When that happens, what they'll do is they will just go on the internet and blame men for their problems, which is usually the case anyway. Make sure you click on one of the videos on screen now to watch more.
Yeah, I like this. Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's perfectly fine you want to be equal, but you gotta, it's not like a perfect system. It's like, it's gonna be a trade-off. Hey there, the richer? It's like, it's no perfect system in the world. I mean, this is why it was very beneficial for women to be under the covering of her father or father figure until they found a suitable guy who was raised right, that has like a decent job, and you move from the father to that guy. So the ladies don't have to worry about so much crap. All they have to worry about is making sure, which ironically in the long run they end up wishing they can just do, but only thing you have to worry about is just making sure the house is tidy, making sure the guy's taken care of, and the children by extension is taken care of. Make sure you got the food and everything like that. The bulk of the like finances is dealt with by the man, which is perfectly fine for us because we're geared towards ambition, risk taking, workhorses. We're biologically set up that way. It's very rare you come across a guy who is kind of like rebuffing all that stuff. It's very rare you come across guys like that. Most guys like to get out there and grind and build like an empire so they can take care of a woman and future children. But like you let certain women, bad faith women, speak up for all women and corrupt a lot of them. And now you get girls like this worry about their future sons because they know the bad habits of women out there in the world that would not hesitate to finesse a guy if the opportunity arises. Because there's a maliciousness and because to certain women, because their biological inclination is to extract resources for their survivability. It's not inherently a bad thing. We all know that girls are weaker by comparison to the guys. They know that their survivability counts on being with a guy who is stronger, smarter, faster, and have like better finances or higher status. We understand that inherently, and that inherently is not a bad thing. We understand girls naturally drawn to that kind of thing because they want to be safe and secure. But where it gets dangerous, if you get with a guy who doesn't have a good character, that has those things, they won't hesitate to treat you wrong. That's why it's important to have a father figure to choose and use their discernment to choose the proper guy for you. Sure, his job might not be fancy, but you can count on him to make sure you are okay. And that's the way it should be, in my personal opinion. So that way, if you have sons or daughters, you know what it takes to get proper, treat them properly, raise them properly, so they can be upstanding citizens, and make sure what kind of man or woman they need to be with, so they won't have to worry about, at least the likelihood of them getting mistreated is very low. There's no perfect system, but you just want to increase your odds in your favor as much as possible. Anyway, Curious to know what you guys think. I will see you guys for another video pretty soon. So leave a comment below, and I will see you guys later. Peace.